Very good morning to all the second BCom computers and general students of Polarity College. Today we are learning the subject principles of insurance. So in this principles of insurance we are going to learn second unit today. I am starting the second unit today. Name of the second unit is insurance contract and insurance products. So before going to the insurance contract, let's learn in detail the meaning of insurance. Insurance contract is of indemnity, which is having some identity, which is having the proof that so and so person is existing and the contract is existing between the two people. So here, who is insurer? In which insurance company? Insurance company is acting as insurer. What it is, why it is acting as an insurer? It is agreeing to pay certain sum of money. It is coming into contract with you to pay some amount during the losses to compensate the loss. Occurrence of uncertainty. Why the loss is occurring? Because of the uncertainty of an event. Anything may happen. Okay, always the situations may not be same. So uneven situations, this company is coming in front to pay for you. Why it is coming front? Because you came into contract with this company with the periodical payment, that is premium, in consideration of certain periodical payment. You are paying sum of amount monthly, every 3 months, every 6 months or annually to this insurance company, and you came into contract with this insurance company. That is the reason it is standing behind you and coming front to pay the amount during the uncertainties and the losses, to pay to you the certain sum of amount. So that is the meaning of insurance here. An agreement by which a company or the state undertakes to provide a guarantee of compensation for specified loss, damage, illness and death in return for the payment of specified premium. So you are able to see the agreement between the two people. Who are the two people here? Insurance company acting as an insurer. We, the public, the person who is coming into contract, insured. We are called as insured. The company is called as insurer. So contract between these two is going to start when you pay the first premium amount. The first periodical amount when you pay, the contract or the agreement is going to start between you. That it may be a company or it may be a government. Why the contract? Why the agreement has been started? To pay guarantee of compensation. Compensation means was during the losses. The amount what you are receiving from the organization is called as a compensation. Why it is paying you? Because you are facing some uncertainties. Okay, financial losses. That is the reason it is paying you. It may be a loss, it may be a damage, medical or death in return for the payment of specified premium. Because you paid the premium, today it is claiming you the amount. That is the meaning of insurance here. 7. There are principles of insurance. 7 principles of insurance are there. The first and the foremost principle is principle of utmost good faith. In India, the principle of utmost good faith. Second one is principle of insurable interest. Second one is what? Principle of insurable interest. Third one is principle of indemnity. Fourth one is principle of contribution. Fifth one is principle of subrogation. Sixth one is principle of loss minimization. And principle of cause proxima, nearest cause. So these are the 7 principles what the insurance company is going to follow in all these insurance amounts. Clear? How many principles are there? 7 principles are there. These 7 principles are very important for us to learn today in this today's topic, because it is very important for us because we are going to pay the policies in future. That is first point. Next point is examination point of view. If you talk about, this is compulsory question in second unit which may come for 10 marks. So it is very important. There are 7 principles. I repeat, the first one is principle of utmost good faith, principle of insurable interest, principle of indemnity, principle of contribution, principle of subrogation, principle of loss minimization, and a principle of cause proxima, nearest cause. So let's see in detail what is the principle of insurable interest. The principle of insurable interest states that the person getting insured must have insurable interest in the object of insurance, because when you keep a fixed deposit in the bank, how the bank people are safeguarding your amount and paying certain sum of amount in the form of interest regularly to you because you deposited. Same way, insurance company is also paying some rate of interest for the amount you are investing with this insurance company. Means there is a guaranteed insurance, that is a interest, that is the meaning of this first point. A person has an insurable interest when the physical existence of the insured object gives him some gain, but its non-existence will give him a loss. In simple words, the insured person must suffer some financial loss with the damage or the insured object. If he is existing smoothly, the policy is going on, he is going to receive the interest. If any uneven situation occurred, means loss may occur. So the company should pay. In such cases, he may not receive the interest. Clear? Principle of utmost good faith. Okay. So it is in Latin, it is called as a Uberin Fidia, or in a simple English it is called as utmost good faith. Okay, here goodwill of the company also comes under good faith. If you have some trust on one people, you may invest with that people. Same way we are trusting the Life Insurance Corporation of India because it is a public sector company, government organized. That is the reason we are readily investing some amount up to 25 years, 30 years or 10 years. So that type of faith, confidence, whatever you are having is called as a utmost good faith. How this company got? Because it did hard work. It is existing in the people, it is existing in the public as well as in the government by lending as well as by accepting the investments. The principle of utmost good faith is very basic and first primary principle of insurance. This is the first principle of insurance. According to this principle, what it is telling, the insurance contract must be signed by both the parties. Who are both the parties? Insurer and insured. Who is insurer? Insurance company is insurer. Insured means we, you, etc. comes under insured. In an absolute good faith or belief or trust. If you trust only, you are coming into contract. If you are not trusting the company, you can't come into the contract. Trust is helping you to sign on the bond of insurance. That is called as utmost good faith. Principle of indemnity. Indemnity means what? Security, protection and compensation given against damage or loss or injury. It is giving a security. Who is giving the security? Insurance company is giving the security. Why it is giving the security? Because you are saving periodically with this insurance company. Because you are saving, because you came into the contract, it is ready to help you whenever you are in a problem by standing as a security. That is the meaning of indemnity. I repeat, indemnity means what? Security, protection, compensation means it is giving the money when you are in a problem. So that money for maybe for losses or injury or any type of situation. According to the principle of indemnity, an insurance contract is signed only for getting protection against unpredicted financial losses arising due to future uncertainties. First part of the paragraph, what is telling? A contract is signed beforehand only. What is that signed? It is promising that whenever you are in a problem of unexpected situations, financial losses you are facing, means that type of situations the company is ready to pay to you. That is the first part of the point. Insurance contract is not made for making profit, else its sole purpose is to give compensation in case of damage or loss. So it is not for making the business, or it is not for the profit oriented organization. It is helping for the compensation to all the policy holders. Principle of contribution. Principle of contribution is a corollary of the principle of indemnity. Continuation. It applies to all the contracts of indemnity if the insured has taken out more than one policy on the same subject matter. According to this principle, the insured can claim the compensation only to the extent of actual loss, either from all the insurers or from any one insurer. If one insurer pays full compensation, then that insurer can claim proportionate claim from the other insurers. So what he's telling here is, suppose you are paying the policy in between because of any problem, you took some amount, means keeping that in view, remaining amount he is going to plan for paying the interest or for the fixation of the profits. Principle of contribution, for example, I will clearly explain here. Mr. John insures his property worth 1 lakh with two insurers, that is AIG Limited for rupees 1 lakh and 90,000 with MetLife Limited. For 60,000, John's actual property destroyed is worth 60,000. Then Mr. John can claim the full loss of 60,000 either from AIG Limited or MetLife, or the claim 36,000 from AIG and 24,000 from the MetLife Insurance. You got the point here, I think. Clearly he gave the example that a single person is investing with two insurance companies. He is investing with two insurance companies, two different insurance companies. What is American Insurance Company, that is AIG. Next one is MetLife Insurance. So these two companies, how much he insured his property? 1 lakh at one place, 90,000 at one place. So one of his property has been damaged. Which property has been damaged? The damaged property is 60,000 worth, which is kept with the AIG. So now he can take the amount, part of the amount from AIG Limited Insurance Company and remaining part of the amount from the MetLife Insurance. So both are, what is happening here? Risk has been distributed. Who distributed the risk? Insurance company has been shared its risk to its companies and taking the amount from the two companies and paying to a single person. Principle of contribution. So if the insured claims full amount of the compensation from insurer, then he cannot claim the same compensation from the other insurer and make a profit. So two at a time total amount he cannot get from the two companies. Secondly, if one insurance company pays the full compensation, then it can recover the proportionate contribution from the others. First AIG, with AIG company, how much has been insured? 1 lakh rupees. Suppose 60,000 rupees he took from AIG, means remaining 90,000 property what has been secured with MetLife Insurance, for that he can take later on. There is an option for him. Clear? Completely at one company or sharingly two companies also he can take. Next time when any type of event occurs in future also, you can share the between these two companies and take the amount. Clear? Principles of subrogation. Subrogation means third party is coming into existence here. Subrogation means substituting one creditor for another. Principle of subrogation is an extension. And another principle of means extension of the principle of indemnity. It also applies to all the contracts of indemnity which have the security. For that policies it is applied, subrogation. According to the principle of subrogation, when the insured is compensated for the loss due to damage to his insured property, then the ownership right of such property shifts to the insurer. So what is happening? Who is insured? We are insured. Who is insurer? Insurance company is insurer. Clear? These 2 points you keep it in mind. Then you will understand the topic here. So what is subrogation doing here? You has been insured your property with the company. So company paid the loss. When there was a damage to the property, it has been paid the loss than required. So at that time what is happening? It is taking your property as a security here. When you repay the extra amount taken from the insurance company, the right of this security is going to be transferred to you. This principle is applicable only when the damaged property has value after the event causing the damage. The insurer can benefit out of subrogation rights only to the extent of the amount he has paid to the insured as a compensation. After seeing the property, the security, the value, the market rate, then only he is going to get the compensation for this insurance insured property. Example also he gave here. You can see the example. Mr. John insures his house. What is the cost of that house? 1 million rupees. The house is totally destroyed by the negligence of his neighbor. Who is his neighbor? Mr. Tom is his neighbor. The insurance company shall settle the claim of Mr. John rupees 1 million. So who is promising that it is going to settle the claim? Company is promising him that it is going to settle the claim of the destroyed house. Clear? So contract between two, that is Mr. John and insurance company. This is over. Why the damage has been caused? Because of Tom, the damage has been caused. Okay. At the same time, it can file a law suit against Mr. Tom. It is filing a case. On whom it is filing? Mr. Tom. Why? Because of this Tom only John's property has been damaged. So how much it is filing the case? 1.2 million it is filing. The market value of the house is 1.2 million. That is the reason it is filing the same amount. If the company wins the case, how much it is collecting from Mr. Tom? 1.2 million rupees it is collecting from Tom. Then the insurance company will retain how many rupees to you? 1 million it is going to give to you. Clear? Remaining amount the company is going to take as its expenses and fees, the balance of the amount. If any will be given to Mr. John the insured. Did you follow the point here? So third party is coming to the existence. Who is the third party here? Mr. Tom is a third party. Clear? So two people, that is insured, insurer. Company is insurer, Mr. John is insured. So this third party coming into existence comes under principle of subrogation. Clear? By this example, it is clear to you, I think, what is the meaning of subrogation. Next principle is what? Principle of loss minimization. According to the principle of loss minimization, insured must always try his level best to minimize the loss of his insured property. You understood this point, I think. What is the duty of the insurance company is it should explain to the person that there should be less chances, means you should not wantedly create any loss to your property. Clear? In case of uncertain events like a fire outbreak or blast, etc., the insured must take all the possible measures and necessary steps to control and reduce the losses in such a scenario. The insured must not neglect and behave irresponsibly during such events just because the property is insured. So what is telling in this point is we can't be careless towards our property after getting insured. Okay, hence it is a responsibility of the insured to protect his insured property and avoid further losses. So student, I will give you a best example for you. Suppose you want to purchase a mobile and you purchase the mobile. So the insurance, the mobile company person or the shop person will say you that there is a insurance to this mobile. If you want to recover the insurance amount, you can pay certain amount like 1500 rupees or 1000 rupees or whatever it is he may collect from you. Clear? That is one point. Second point is the advertisement is given that there is cashback of 30%, 40% for the purchasing of certain mobiles, branded mobiles. So these 2 points you kept in your view, that is in mind, and then you purchase a mobile. Clear? Why you purchase a mobile? Because there is insurance. Second point is 30% cashback. Okay, so when this cashback is going to be given, when the mobile is damaged or anything is happening to the mobile, in case of loss of mobile, the amount is going to be paid. He may promise you. So once the mobile is lost, he may not pay 30% amount. He may pay only 20% and 10%. Why he is not paying 30%? Because if he pays 30% amount to you, once again you may purchase a mobile, wantedly you may lose your mobile and you may demand the amount of 30% amount. Many people are there who may do this type of frauds. That is the reason, in order to create the realization in you people, it is collecting the insurance amount and it is not paying the total amount what has been promised. Why? To make you to realize if the mobile is lost, who is going to be in a problem? Not the company. You are going to face the situations. That is the creation of loss minimization. The insured must not neglect. So only it is telling you this point, that the insured must not neglect and misbehave. Okay, feel irresponsible towards his property which is insured. Hence, it is a responsibility of the insurer to protect his property. Clear? Example is given. Mr. John's house is set on fire due to electric short circuit. In this scenario, what happened? Mr. John must try his level best. What he should try to stop the fire? By all possible means. Calling the nearest fire department. Okay, asking the neighbors for the emergency fire exhausters. He must not remain inactive and watch this house burning. Okay, why should I worry? I have a insurance on this house. If he delays or if he neglects, the insurance company may not claim the total amount what it has been promised. Clear? So our part of the responsibility should be there in our property which has been insured. That is the meaning of principle of loss minimization. So principle of cause proxima, that is nearest cause. This is very important. So what is the meaning of the cause proxima is what is the reason there is a loss to you, why the damage has been caused to you. It is going to do the inquiry back of that. Okay, it has been occurred naturally or wantedly. So he is explaining the meaning here. Means, what means cause proxima means when a loss is caused by more than one causes, the proximate or the nearest or the closest cause should be taken into consideration to decide the liability of the insurer. Okay, one more example I'll give you for this. The principle states that to find out whether the insurer is liable for the loss or not, and the remote must that is farthest must be looked into. So it is observing two sides, from the insurance company side as well as from the insured side. Both the point of views, it is observing where the damage has been caused, why the damage has been caused, is there any involvement of the insured in this damage. After collecting all the details of that, then it will plan how much amount should be paid for the damage caused. Okay, so that type of collecting the details of the loss or the damage and paying the amount means it comes under cause proxima. Okay, so example is given. A cargo ship's base was punctured due to rats, and so seawater entered and cargo was damaged. Here there are two causes for the damage of the cargo ship. What is the first reason? Cargo ship getting punctured because of rats. That is the first point. And what happened in the second point? Sea water entered into the ship because there was a puncture. Okay, the risk of the sea water is insured, but the first cause is not. The nearest cause of the damage is sea water which has been insured, and therefore the insurer must pay the compensation. Marine insurance, according to this marine insurance, there is a chance of getting the amount for this ship or the cargo what has been insured. But the first point, if we observe, why there was a reason, because rats has been did the damage to the cargo. So whose responsibility? It is the responsibility of the person to check out the godown or the packed cargo is perfectly done or not. Packing. Okay, why there was a delay in sending this cargo from one place to other place? Why the cargo has been stored in this place long time? This he is going to observe, then he is going to declare how much amount should be paid. However, in case of life insurance, the principle of cause proxima does not apply. Whatever may be the reason for the death, whether natural or unnatural death, the insurer is liable to pay the amount of insurance. So here what is happening in the life insurance, non-life insurance, he is paying part of the amount only. Whereas in life insurance, the company is liable to pay the total amount, whatever may be the reason, natural death or unnatural death. Clear? So these are the 7 principles in second unit, and remaining topic I am going to explain you in next class. It is very important answer for your final examination. How many principles of insurance are there? Are 7 principles of insurance are there. It is very important 10 marks answer for final examination. Thank you students. Please concentrate on the classes.